and really trying to put in my mind as if like I'm speaking to one of my siblings. I'm speaking to someone my parents' age. I'm speaking to, an aunt of mine. And what advice would you give them? The moment you put them in that sort of situation, well, you ain't going to give your mom the wrong advice or your siblings the wrong advice. And they need to see it. And I'll be like, Nick, I'll be honest with you. Look, it's everything that I'm going to share with you right now is the same advice that I'll give my own siblings. Now you tell me, Nick, you just told me that you hate your job. You hate your job, and this has been going on for 16 years. I mean, and I used to do this in network marketing as well. I used to future pace, and then I used to talk about, Nick, how long has this been happening? I want you to rewind a bit, Nick. How were the last 5 years? Mm-hmm. Around about the same. The income was around about the same. You were around about the same job and everything. Yeah. Okay. Now, if you don't change something now, Nick, how do you think the next 5 years are going to be? Now it's like, damn, I just hit them with a ton of bricks. I'll just let them know, if you don't change something now, the next 5 years are going to be the same. And now they're making sense of all of this. And they're not making sense of it as in because look, if your prospects feel like they're speaking to a salesperson, of course, I don't deny I'm a salesperson. I'm like, oh, are you trying to sell me? I'm trying to sell you on changing your life. Yeah, if that means I'm selling, yeah, of course I'm selling. Once you're sincere and your clients can see this, the close is very easy. I don't feel like I have to objection handle because I preempt objections right at the beginning and throughout the call. But I'll pause there if anyone wants to say anything.
He's kind of stuck for a while. And you go, man, can I be honest with you? Dude, if you don't do anything, your business is going to fail. I'm just going to be honest with you. So you tell me, what kind of action do you want to take? You know what I mean? It's sitting in that space of going dude, your business is going to fail. And making them feel it.
I feel in the past when I used to say that though, for that, I don't know. I feel like that.
But you got to feel it. You got to feel it too, though. You got to feel it. You got to mean it. You got to care for it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's probably why I would do that in the past. It never worked for me. I guess probably because I didn't.
You need to go deep, bro. You need to go deep, and you need to picture imagine. I used to always put myself in their shoes. That's when I'm building rapport. I'm trying to get into their shoes and actually feel and view what's going on in their life. How's relationship at home with your wife? How's relationship with your parents? When was the last time you rocked up to your parents' house with, a surprise? When was the last time you took your parents on a holiday? When I'm hitting them with those things and I'm sincere about this, and I let them know the main reason I do what I do is for my family. And when you're opening up about yourself, you best believe these guys are going to know that, oh, this guy is human as well. Now they're opening up. And look, it's not even I don't even find myself having that sort of conversation with them as in oh, what if nothing happens? It's natural. Once you've built, and it's not building pain, but making them realize of what kind of situation that they're in, because believe it or not, most people don't even know that they're in a situation. They need you to tell them and show them that they're in a situation.
Tell them some of your struggles. You tell them the stuff that you've been going on. You should be vulnerable. If they're a lot of times you can say, hey, I appreciate you really opening up. You're being open with me, so I appreciate that. So, this is kind of something that I deal with as well. Now you come down to their level, you start to understand them. And then they start to believe in
100%.
Instead of
just really
the issue, also just saying, look, man, you're not alone. We've worked with lots of people who've been through this. Instead of just trying to make them feel worse and more scared, just hey, man, I get it. Lots of people have been there. I've been there. Whatever it is, just kind of.
I think it's really just empathy at the end of the day, too, because it's kind of it's the intention. It's the intention of which you're asking questions. Is it are you asking the question to be oh, I got you, versus helping them understand something they maybe previously didn't understand? So even when you ask a consequence question, it's what is the intention behind asking that? Jabber mentioned it earlier. It's like, yeah, when you're naturally having that flow of the conversation, it's not awkward because you're going there already. So it fits contextually into the conversation versus like you're trying to force something out of them to leverage something for not the right intention in the first place. Like, are you trying to leverage them or help them understand their situation?
Yeah, I always try to like preface my questions because like sometimes people I think have some embarrassment for whatever reason it is, and just kind of trying to like weed out any reason they wouldn't tell the truth and just say, look, man, you ask them an uncomfortable question and say like, yeah, don't worry about what your answer is. Like, we've seen it all. I'm just doing this to, just making them feel really comfortable with your questions, not like you're prodding them, trying to like find a weakness or something like that.
Agree. And it's never, I think some of my best calls, believe it or not, and I've not even tried to, but because I have a big reason why, and like why I do what I do, it's for my family, is to, make a difference in their lives and retire my dad. I used to always share this, not for them, but for myself, because I wanted to remind myself every single day why I'm doing what I'm doing, and it was good for building rapport as well. And before you know it, I swear to you, the moment I used to tell them, like my story is in, 27 years of my life, I lived for myself. As soon as I graduated at university, I lived abroad. I traveled all the world. I lived away from my family, and it was only when I came back home, I saw my dad working. And growing up as a kid, my dad said he wanted to be retired when he was 50, and he was 54. He was still working. I was living at his house. He was paying for everything. Not once did he say to me that, Jabran, you're old enough now. You take care of everything. And, I go into real detail about like the realization came to me. It was like, I was in the UK. It was 4 a.m. in the morning. I was up at night watching and waiting for the Floyd Mayweather fight to come on, because we're 5 hours ahead of the US. And my dad, he used to buy and sell secondhand stuff in like the Sunday market, and he had come down 3 a.m. in the morning, and it's winter, and he's going in the back garden, and he's getting all the things out, and I'm there in my couch on the couch in my duvet, and thinking, I hope Dad doesn't tell me to get up off the couch and go into the back garden when it's freezing cold and get the stuff out the garden and load the car. And it was at that moment I realized that, hey, hang on, he's gone 4 years past the year that he wanted to be retired. He's still working. He's not once told me to, you know what, Jabra, it's all down to you now. And it was at that moment I remember crying, and it's all real. And it was that moment I decided I'm not going traveling or anything, because I was due to go back to Cyprus for 9 months. Everything was paid for. I gave up everything. And I said, even if it means taking 3 jobs, I will do whatever I need to do to replace his income. And that was the moment in my life when I decided that, you know what, enough is enough. And I share this with people, and people can relate to it. And then all of a sudden now they start opening up about the real reason why they're doing what they're doing. I tell them this, and it was overdrafts and credit cards and loans, and I was drowning in debt. I tell them this. When I tell them that, and then they open up and everything, but I said to them, and I tell them from my first experience in business, when I had no money and I had to borrow money from my youngest of 4 sisters. So rather than being the elder brother who's giving back to his sister, I had to go and ask my youngest sister for money. And when I share all of this with them, like, and it's not like, oh, I'm tricking them into anything. I'm letting them know what I had to do and what I did. If they, may not have money or may not have this, and they may have this, objection or whatever. And look, at the end of the day, if you do everything sincerely from your side, a lot of my closes are just natural. They just say to me, oh, like, what's the next steps? Yeah, it's simple. Just go on the link that I've already sent you. Just put in your details, and then we'll get you onboarded. There's not like, oh, this back and forth or whatever. Even when someone gives me an objection, I swear to you, I'm like, yeah, I just jump on the same side of the fence as them. Of course you need to think about it. Of course I want you to make a decision today. 90% of my closes came after, and they were all one call closes, but 90% of my closes came after the call. either 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, or 1 day or 2 days. There was no pressure sales. I prepared them before the call, I prepared them on the call, and I prepared them leaving the new like open rates of text messages and emails, like the first line to be really important. So like they jump on it and they open the text. Once they've opened the text, in that text message, I've let them know who's calling or who's messaging, and there will be a brief in there about the program. So like all the visuals, I used to make sure that the company had some visual PDF documents explaining the whole program. And I used to love giving the price before the program. There was like, I used to do the total opposite of every closer. That's why I earned more than every single closer as well.
Yeah.
So I'd give them the price.
Yeah.
Drop the price before. I'd put the price in the text message. I'd put the information in the text message. And then I'd also, and just to get a buy-in from them as well, please respond confirmed or whatever I wanted them to confirm. One word answer, just so I know that they've gone through the PDF, they've seen the price, and now they're coming on the call. And you know what that used to do for me? I swear, it gave me a 90% show rate. I knew that they're coming on the call because they confirmed. Now, don't get me wrong, some people will still confirm and still not show, but it at least showed me, and it showed me that they've gone through the content, they've gone through the visuals, and when they get on the call, they already know the price, and they can't come up with the objection that people say, oh, let me think about it, or send me some visuals or whatever. Now, I've given you everything. Now it's like, okay, let's make a decision. And sometimes, not all the times, I'll give them a fast action promo as well. I'll see what I can get with the influencer. Like, what deal can you give me? Can I give them $1,000 off if they make a decision on the call? Or sometimes I used to say 24 hours of the call. It was men and women that would end up crying on the call because they tell me about how much, how badly they needed this. And when they were getting emotional, they'll start crying as well. And it's not I was trying to make them cry. It's just the way the conversation led. I was stepping myself in their shoes.
Dude, everything you said today has been massively gold. Like, it's been amazing, just fire. Super inspirational, super motivational. There was actually one thing I wanted to ask you. When you said that 90% of your closes happen after 2 days, 2 or 3 days, and you say, what do you say if you're hopping off the phone with somebody and you want to get them committed to the next step? What, like, tactically do you typically say?
So what you do is you separate finance. Like, okay, is it finances aside? How do you feel about the program? And then have them tell you, well, what is it that you like? Yeah. What is it that really catches your attention about the program? And you go, okay, so you're telling me it's just a money thing for you, right? Then you take it one step further and go, okay, can we have an open discussion about your finances? Are you open to that? Right? Because finances aside, that's the only thing that's getting in your way, right? Yeah. So how much do you have in your bank account? You can be open with me here. Keep in mind, I don't want to take all your money. I don't want to put you in this fight or flight mode, but I want to know your situation so I can help you out. So then you get the number. I got $3,000. Okay, well, what do you have on available credit? So they'll tell you that, and then they'll go, okay, well, what's your credit score? Okay, what was your verifiable income last year? Do you have PayPal? Do you have Square? Man, now that they've given me all the tools that I need to make a decision. So now it's my job to say, okay, here's your finance. You got this, you're good this. I've got 3 options for you. So you tell me which direction you want to go.
You know what's crazy? Just
logistically, right? 100%.
Yeah.
And then take it one step further about what you're talking about, Kevin. Think about the mind of them when they get off the phone. What's going on? They're going through excitement or fear. They're excited to change their life, or they're scared like hell. So what do you need to do to get in their mind to confirm that this is the best decision for them? So for me, my last offer, so John, your story is so much like mine. I put together a 25-page testimonial document that I would send to them when I get off the phone. It's overkill if you send it to somebody before the call, that many testimonials, right? Because everybody sends them like 5 or 6 or something like that. But 25 pages, because we had an internal Slack page. I just put it in PDF. Man, 25 pages of testimonials, of multiple testimonials on each page doesn't lie.
Yeah.
I'll do it tonight.
You know what's crazy? Look, facts tell, stories sell. facts tell, stories sell. Those are selling for you. And I used to send testimonials before the call as well.
You could take it one step further too. Like, so the program I was selling was $6,000, and I go, okay, so all together you have $3,000 saved up, and you got $4,000 on your credit card. So what I'm hearing is you have the money. It's just uncomfortable to let go of that much right now, right? Yeah. So would it be more comfortable for you if we put you on a payment plan, spread it out over 3 months? Oh man, absolutely. Okay, great. I'm ready to sign up now. I think you just said it from the first place. Ask better questions. It means he's bored with your questions and you're not getting through to him. And it's almost pausing. You really just take a pause. Like, hey man, I just want to pause for a minute. Are you serious about this? Like, what's going on? Like, I'm not getting anything from you. Like, I need you to really open up on these calls because I really can't help you if I have nothing. You're not. I don't even know what your situation is. You're not sharing anything with me. This just tells me maybe you're not serious about this right now. And that's okay. You can say that's the right, or you need to go back and do more research. I'm okay with that. But I'm here to support you, and I need you to really open up.
Great answer. All four, but there's a dominating one. Now with me, it's like I know for a fact I'm not an urchin. Now, if you don't know what an urchin, so I'll tell you, an urchin is someone that needs all the information. They're very dull. They're very boring. They're like, a lot of the times they're like accountants. They just need all the information. These are the people that are not going to make a decision on the call right away. These are the people that you're not going to one call close. These are the people that are going to need to read all the agreement, and that's fine as well. I'm not an urchin, but I'm not going to bang you and and like really pester you because you want to read the document. Now I find it boring. Like, why would you want to read a 40-page document? But hey, that's him. That's the way they are. That's the way they channel. And like then you have, so that's an urchin, analytical people. They don't make a decision right away. Then you have dolphins. These people, you don't know when you know who's a dolphin. You'll know when they're in the room. These are the loud people, the funny people, the excited people, the positive people, and you'll know who's a dolphin. Now I'm a bit of a dolphin, but then there's the sharks. The sharks are the guys that are the numbers. See you later, Justin. They want to be number one. They want to see the numbers. They don't care about all the nitty-gritty stuff or whatever. You just tell me how much money I can make, where I can take this from. They just want to know the numbers, and they care about. And like these guys are probably the ones that have like the big watches and the cars and the designer clothes, and so those are the sharks. There's the whales. The whales are the people are like the helpers, the nurses. They love helping people. They love making a difference. And now when you're speaking to these people about numbers and cars and clothes and you can make 20 grand, that's not their language. That is not their language. Talk to them about helping people, making a difference, helping their family. Now, so that coming back to your question, how do you get people? This is all to do with, are you seeking to be understood or are you seeking to understand? Once you understand who you're speaking to, bam, you've got it. I swear, once you learn the 4 personality types, now you're going to be like, okay, is this guy an urchin or is this guy a whale? Now, some people are just going to, some people are all 4 or some people are all 3, but there's one dominating one. You really want, guys, nobody should be having conversations about making 6, 7, 8 grand a month. I'm sorry. You are not going to be connected with me and be thinking that small. You should, minimum, you should be thinking, ask yourself, okay, how much money do I need to survive? Minimum, double that. Minimum, double it. Whatever amount you think that you need, put some money on top of that so it really gets you excited.